guys, it's Erica, and today it is legitimately raining cats and dogs in Los Angeles, which is so out of the ordinary. So I thought it would be a perfect day to just do a chill, sit down tea talk video with you guys. Today I'm drinking some delicious peppermint tea out of this insanely cute elephant mug. I just thought it fit the vibe, so let's get into the video. Yum. So the idea for this video kind of came to me at a random time this week when I was just casually walking downtown. I think I was like going to the bank or something, but I just started reflecting on like how I got to where I am right now in my life, which for me it feels like I'm literally living a dream. And then I started thinking back about how I practiced the law of attraction, and I was like connecting the dots. I was like, wait, I basically manifested this life for myself. That's so cool to think about. Everything from where I live, where I'm going to school, where I work, all of that was once this like dream that I had in my mind that I would visualize every day, and now it's become real life. That is the power of the law of attraction. I know not everybody agrees or not everyone believes in it, and it's okay if you don't, like there's no problem obviously, but for those of you who are interested in it or who practice it yourself, I thought I would share my experiences with it with you all. If you guys haven't seen the documentary called The Secret on Netflix, you should totally check it out because it's all about the law of attraction and there's a lot of people talking about their personal experience with it. So, the law of attraction. I discovered this, I think, my junior year of high school. I read a book, and I think it was The Secret, and then I started reading Mod Sun's book and listening to his music, which just kind of inspired me to start using the law of attraction in my everyday life. And then I read another book called How Life Works. One of the best books I've ever read. You guys have to check it out. I've mentioned the law of attraction in a few of my videos before, and I also did like another video dedicated to it, so if you guys want to see that, I will have it linked below. But in today's video, I just kind of wanted to share with you guys some of my personal experiences. As I said before, I would probably say that I was really dedicated to practicing the law of attraction senior year and the summer before I went to college, so summer after senior year. I truly think that I am where I am in my life because of it. First example, when I graduated high school, there was a lot of uncertainty. I didn't know if I was actually going to be able to attend the Los Angeles campus of FITM. I knew I was accepted to the school, but my parents were kind of trying to convince me to stay in the Bay Area and go to the San Francisco campus. But I knew in my mind that LA was where I was meant to be. So I had to figure out a roommate situation because I didn't want to do student housing, and then I ended up wanting to do student housing. And when I got placed in student housing, I was placed at an apartment complex that was 30 minutes away from the school. That was definitely not what I had wanted, so I opted out of that. And then 2 weeks before school was going to start and 2 weeks before I was going to move to Los Angeles, I had to somehow find a roommate. But I kept believing that things would work out and that I would find an awesome roommate. I literally visualized myself moving out to Los Angeles, being near the school, and having a roommate. Literally 2 weeks before I moved to Los Angeles, I was on the school's app where you can like find roommates, and I found this girl who had put a safety deposit in on a apartment that was 2 bedrooms, and she seemed totally like nice, and we had very similar like styles, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna message her. Long story short, after trying to find 2 other roommates to room with us, that all like fell apart. It ended up just being me and my first roommate, whose name is Maddie. We were both able to move into the apartment that she had put a safety deposit on. I still live in the apartment, but Maddie actually moved out a few months ago, which leads me to my other example of the law of attraction. When my first roommate moved out, I was very hopeful that it all happened for a reason and that things were going to work out with another roommate, a new roommate. And that's when I got Emily, who is my roommate now. So shout out to you, Emily, because literally I truly think the universe brought us together. It's just crazy that it happened to be at the right time. Like, the timing was perfect. So even though it seemed impossible that I would be able to find a roommate, move out to Los Angeles within 2 weeks, at first, when I first moved out here, it happened. It worked out better than I could have even imagined. But the whole time I had been visualizing it, and I had been so optimistic about it working out, and I truly think that's why it worked out. Another example is the job that I have now. At the beginning of 2016, I knew that I wanted a job. I was ready to start looking for a job, and specifically I wanted a job at Free People. So I started applying at different locations, and I got an interview in January of 2016. I ended up not getting the job. So, I was like, oh, well, that's a bummer, but maybe I'm not meant to have a job right now. So I'll just focus on school, and later on, if an opportunity comes, I will take that. Then, come a few months later, I saw an opportunity to apply for another store that I could see myself working at, and that was LF. So I applied to that store, and I didn't get the job. I knew that it was probably because I didn't have experience in retail. After I didn't get that job, I ended up just saying, I'm gonna focus on school and I'll try again in a few months. So it was actually good that I didn't get that job, because that quarter at school I had the hardest class I have ever taken in my entire life. It's called drafting. If you follow me on Snapchat, you know how much I disliked that class. It was actually a blessing in disguise that I did not get the job at LF, because the girl who was interviewing me had told me how many hours I would have to put into the job and how crazy the work schedule was. Another couple months later, I found an opportunity for an internship. And I saw it and I was just kind of like, I'm gonna try it. If I do get this internship, I could possibly have experience to back me up on a retail job. So I found an internship to intern for a stylist. I basically instantly got the internship. I talked to the assistant and I got the position. I started that internship in September. My plan was to try and apply for Free People again in February, once I had been doing the internship for 6 months, just so that employers, if I ever was going to apply for a job at Free People or another store, just so they knew that I committed to an internship for at least 6 months. That was the plan. I was going to reapply this year, actually in February 2017. Because that would have been 6 months at my internship. So here's where it gets crazy. I knew I wanted a job at Free People, and at the beginning of the year, I had made a list of things that I wanted to obtain and that I was going to work hard for. Obtaining a job at Free People was the first thing on that list. Fast forward to December of 2016. I was doing finals and I was still interning and stuff. I get a text from one of my friends who actually works at Free People, and she texts me and tells me that they're hiring. As soon as she texts me that, I was like, I'm jumping on this opportunity. I don't care that it's not February. I would love a job at Free People, and I wanted this for months. I applied that night. I got a call the next morning, and I went in for an interview later that week. When I was home on winter break, this was about 2 weeks before the year ended, I got a call and I found out that I had gotten the job at Free People. I just thought that was crazy. 2 weeks before 2016 ended, I got hired at Free People. That was the first thing on my list of things that I wanted to attract into my life. I was blown away, and it just made me super emotional, and I was so grateful, and I still am so grateful, and I love my job. Had I given up and not been persistent about something that I wanted so badly and worked hard for it and jumped on opportunities before, that probably wouldn't have happened. And I think it was definitely the optimistic outlook I had that made that possible. Now let's rewind, because I kind of forgot that I missed this point. But when I was a junior in high school, I was like obsessed with Los Angeles. I don't know if it's because of all the YouTubers I watched who lived there or who visited and stuff. I didn't really get the opportunity to visit LA as much as I would have wanted to when I was younger. But I remember I came for IMATS 2014, I believe. IMATS 2014. I visited LA. It was held in Pasadena, and I think that was the trip that really got the idea in my head that I wanted to live in LA and I was going to do it. You know, even though I was young and like didn't really know how I was going to do it, didn't really know where I wanted to go to school or what I wanted to do at that moment in my life, but I knew that I was going to do it. The reason I'm mentioning this point is because I was on Facebook, and you know how it does like the memories thing and it shows you what happened like 3 years ago on whatever day it is. Well, that day passed a few weeks ago because it was January, and there I was in my little picture. I'll post it on the screen right now. I felt like my dream had come true because I had gotten to go to IMATS in LA. Little did I know a few years down the road I would be living here, calling it my home, working at my dream job, going to my dream school. I am so grateful. Honestly, I wouldn't have been able to do that without being appreciative of where I was at the time in my life. I was grateful to be, you know, in my small town, like doing what I was doing there, because I knew that it would help me somehow in the future. And I think that's so important to remember, to always be grateful and appreciative of where you are in your life right now at this present moment. And I even practice the law of attraction in my everyday life. Here's the random example, but this actually has worked for me. If I'm going somewhere in LA where parking is extremely hard to find, I will visualize in my mind a parking spot. I will get to that place and there will be a parking spot. When I used to give a lot of public speeches in like my effective speaking class, I would visualize my presentation going really well and everything working out smoothly. Then it would happen. This is another random example. I was in Free People a few months ago with my friend, and I saw this amazing like coat jacket thing, and I said to her, I'm going to get that somehow. I will have that. A few months later, I go into a Free People store, which is where I saw it. It is right there, an additional 40% off sale. I ended up getting it for more than half off, and now it's in my closet. Now that might sound dumb, but that is just one way that the law of attraction can work. Those are some of my like main examples that I can think of from the top of my head that have shown me that the law of attraction can work if you practice it with like positivity and gratitude. I hope you guys like found this video interesting or helpful or inspiring in some way, and maybe some of you guys will try to practice the law of attraction now as well. Go out there and start manifesting whatever you want and desire, but don't forget that it comes with hard work and gratitude. So thank you guys for watching. I love you all so much. And if you want to know more about the law of attraction, I will have the other videos I've made talking about it below. I love you guys. I'm so grateful for all of you, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.